How often do you get bored with your workouts to the point where you ask yourself, why am I continually doing this? You can raise your hand because honestly, we all get to that point where we're either not motivated or it's just not something that we feel like it's a fun activity to do. So, three things I want to talk to you about is how to visualize your workout so that you're more motivated of going and actually pursuing it, but then at the same time, you have reasons. So, there's always got to be a why behind what you're doing. And so we look at the three reasons why you want to visualize it because it gives you a little bit more clarity and purpose on where you're headed, the direction of where you're going. So when you're structuring your workouts, I always want to relate it to, again, why am I doing this? And again, obviously you may have fitness goals to the point where this is more of a health reason, either trying to lose weight, maybe gain lean muscle mass, or just in general feel like you're more active in general. But the other standpoint is a lot of us travel, a lot of us go out and do certain physical activities. We like to pursue fun, more or less physical activities, but at the same time, we need to be in our best shape to go do those, right? And a lot of times you don't think about it, but you may have this big trip plan coming up this summer or the spring or whenever it is throughout the year, and you're not really thinking about the physicality of it that goes with it. And I'll give you an example here, but this past summer we went to Big Sky, Montana, and during the summertime, it's obviously a nice time because it's not so hot, but it's cooler, but people are still out and being very active. That being said, people travel from all over and they come out to enjoy the weather, the scenery, and just different parts of the mountains and able to go hiking. But at the same time, they probably don't think about it just as much because noticing it when you go there and you start going to these trails, you start to see people struggling. You know, people of all ages. They don't realize the different altitude that they're going through, maybe the different physicality of how much effort or energy is going to be required for these hikes of different distances. So when you're structuring your workouts, and I always think about this is like, and when I go to travel, I want to get the most of it. When I'm going to go do a certain activity, and you may not be going to do this extreme travel, but you may be going to do a certain activity, even local, and you start thinking about, wow, there's so much to see. And so that's why I want to break it down so that you have more reasons and more understanding of why you're doing something, but actually how to really structure your workouts. That way it's to your benefit. So the first one is going to be sight. And so that's the biggest thing. So if you have a hard time, you're not, maybe so you don't feel like you're so creative, you may have to pull up some pictures on the internet, maybe watch some videos of the destination, or maybe even you don't have something planned yet. Maybe it's just something that, you're thinking in your head, this would be cool because I heard about it, or I saw it on TV, or a friend heard it. Find that motivation, find something that inspires you, and then relate this to your workout. But if you have something already picked, then you can go and watch a video or see the picture. So when you look at sight and you think, okay, well, how does this relate to my workout? Well, you start thinking about this is, if I'm going to be going and doing a certain activity, and I'm just using the hiking, for example, I'm thinking obviously there's going to be different mountains, there's going to be different altitudes. I'm going to have to be going up different terrain. So when you're looking at your gym or wherever, whether it's at home or at maybe a gym setting, depending on your type of workout, you start looking around, you start thinking, you know what? Maybe I'm not just going to be laying on a bench and doing a bench press, when I'm out there hiking. You got to start being a little bit more creative and thoughtful about the activities you're going to be getting into. So start being a little bit more, I would say, creative on that aspect of not so much just your general workout in general, like the kind of exercise you're doing, but overall of what you're going to be exposed to. And so, for example, we knew not so much the terrain or maybe even the weather that we're going to be going through at the time, but I knew I was going to be going up higher altitudes or just hiking a different arenas, different areas than I was used to. So that being said, I had access to stairs. So I would do what's called farmer's carries, where we would carry weights up and down the stairs, just train ourselves so that we knew that, hey, if we can go and start kind of somewhat mimicking our exercise to the activity we're going to be going through, then that's going to help relate over to our experience. And here's the reason why you want to do that, because if you have that sight and you have that vision, then you understand, hey, I get to go see so much more and I get to do more and I get more out of it. It's one of those things that a lot of people don't realize this, but when they get to these destination spots, they don't have the ability, whether it's physical or just in general, the strength or energy to go even get to the places they want to see, and they miss out on this whole opportunity of the vision of really what that place has to offer. And so they're kind of stuck or limited to their activity. And in that example, when we went there, we had a lot of people that were they were limited on their ability to even walk to go see these destination sites. And so they traveled all this way, and then at the end of the day, they couldn't even really go see what they wanted to. So that being said, that's why you have to have that sight and that vision. Number two, activity. Again, what kind of activities are you going to be going through? And so again, you may not be, every workout you do or every exercise you're going to be doing, you may not be thinking about, oh, I'm going to be, this exact workout's going to be the exact thing I'm going to be doing. But if you can somewhat relate it. So for example, I knew right away we're going to be doing a lot of endurance. We're going to be doing a lot of strength, exercise that involved our activity of our legs, maybe just in general, that change of pace. And so you know, again, if you're kind of stuck in that monotony of the workouts, you're doing the same thing over and over, maybe you want to change up to do some endurance type workout. Maybe you have a little bit more cardio. Maybe you also have some strength training. So you're not doing the same thing over and over. Just kind of think about, okay, what activities am I going to be going through? And it may be for yourself, you may just be walking. You know, maybe it's a little bit more walking than you're used to. So again, you start training for that now with a mentality and that picture in your head of what it's going to look like as you're going through. And if you need a little bit of motivation again, right before the workout, watch that video, look at that picture, or while you're doing it and just saying, you know what, this is where I'm going. I want to get the most of it. I want to go get to see the best sights. I want to get to experience the best experience and have the best activities. Then this is where I'm going to have to variety the activity. To give you kind of example, you know, I went to this with a friend here. He's an experienced hiker. I've hiked small stuff before, but nothing really big. And one of the biggest mountains there was called Lone Peak Mountain. And this was a 4,000 foot elevation gain. So just to kind of get an idea, it took us about 3 or 4 hours to get up to the top. So very cold, very windy, but also a different terrain, meaning you'd go from sandy areas to rocky to the point where you're like, why am I doing this first place? But the best part of it is when you get to the very top, the sight, the views, everything you get to experience is one of those that no one will ever see unless you're there. And so obviously this may not be like your destination type thing or your activity, but you're saying in general, you know what, whenever I go visit a place, I'm gonna go do some kind of a, you know, fun extreme thing, or just in general want to go get the best of the experience. I want to be as physically active as I can be to be able to participate in it, right? So that's where you can start to really add some variety into your workouts. And when we say variety into your workouts, again, just kind of get out of the monotony. So if you're doing always just strength training or weight training, maybe add in a little bit of more cardio training. You know, just try to change it up a little bit to some of the activities you think you'll be exposed to whenever you go to these destination spots or whatever choice your is. The third one is obviously experience, you know, how to get the most of it. So that being said, you know, sometimes your experience at the gym may not be the best. You may feel like, oh, this is painful. Why am I doing this? Or I'm not enjoying this because I'm having a hard time breathing. You know, you've really got to add a little bit of understanding and reasoning again why you want to pursue something like this. Other than the health reasons, the physicality, maybe your looks, lean muscle mass, whatever it is. Maybe you're headed to the beach and maybe you just want to, you know, have that beach body. Hey, that's your experience that you're working for. You're working for it now because you want to enjoy that experience when you get there. And so you have to really have that forethought to kind of see in the future of what it's going to be like, and then again relate that to your activity. So that way, again, you can kind of go in there and break up the monotony so that you're not just getting bored doing the same workouts over and over. You're finding a reason behind, you know, what the workout you're doing, it inspires you, what the purpose is behind it, but also what you have a goal to work toward. And again, if you don't have that goal or you don't have something bigger than what your current purpose is, that's when people give up. And that's why you see after the New Year's resolutions, you know, so many goals get shot down within a couple of weeks because their goals are not big enough. They don't have something bigger than themselves that they're aiming for, and all of a sudden they give up. And when you give up, nothing happens, right? So that being said, for this year and you to get the best experience, you got to really visualize, again, what your workout's going to look like. When you go into it and you say, you know what, you may not have that exact destination spot, you may not have that activity you're trying to go pursue, but you're thinking, you know what, I can actually start to really, you know, add a little bit more variety into what I'm doing. And then that way you have that better experience, meaning you're going to get more out of your workout. You have a little bit more motivation so that when that day does come, or maybe you already have it figured out where you're going, then you're better prepared, meaning you've gotten that kind of mentality in there, the understanding of, you know what, I want to be in the best shape that I can be in. That way, whenever I go do these activities and I go live that active lifestyle, then I can actually go out there and perform and get to see the world. So that being said, that's your three tips to actually helping visualize your workout: is the site, the activity, and the experience so you get the best of it.